Are you someone who struggles to control your anger in the heat of the moment? Then you a lot like me. Suddenly I feel attacked, I get defensive, and before I know it, I have an outburst. It's clear to everyone around me that I'm angry, and instead of building connections, I end up breaking them down. Hi, I'm Tom. If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. In this video, I'll share a powerful technique that will help you control and manage your anger in these moments, so you can respond calmly and respectfully. But first, let me explain why you're struggling to control your anger. To better understand the challenge of controlling your anger, we need to remember that the brain is divided into three fundamental areas. First, we have the autonomic brain. This part controls functions like breathing, heartbeat, and temperature regulation. It keeps you alive automatically. These are the functions we don't even have to think about doing. If we did, we may have difficulty keeping ourselves alive. Next, there's the limbic brain, also known as the emotional brain. This is where your emotional data and memories are stored. Everything that's ever happened to you, especially emotionally intense events, is recorded here. Finally, we have the rational brain, the cortex and neocortex. This part handles problem-solving, decision-making, and higher-order thinking. It's the part of your brain that can help you stay emotionally intelligent and avoid what's called emotional hijacking.
The limbic brain is designed to protect us from all forms of danger, and particularly very important when it comes to our survival. For example, if we're experiencing an emotion of fear, it is the limbic brain that determines whether we have a fight or flight response to fear. The limbic brain also stores the actual event that has occurred, as well as the emotion associated with that particular event. It is the emotion, however, that is activated if a similar event were to reoccur in the future.
Imagine I lit a match and held it close to your face. Without thinking, you'd pull back instantly to avoid getting burned. That's your limbic brain at work, reacting way faster than your rational brain can. The limbic brain reacts in milliseconds, up to 100 times faster than your rational brain, designed to protect us from danger. In moments of anger, this speed difference can cause you to react emotionally before you even realize it.
You take the example of lighting a match and holding it up to somebody's face, and you see the reaction and how quickly that occurs. That's the limbic brain taking over. The rational brain is not even aware that that's what's happening at that point in time. That's how quick the limbic brain is to respond. It delivers us from danger. If the rational brain were to be responsible for that kind of reaction or deliver us from danger in a particular situation, then it would need to know things such as the temperature of the match, the temperature at which skin burns, and the potential injuries that can occur in that particular situation before it actually takes any form of action. Now, while the rational brain can calculate and compute that very quickly, it is by no means the sprinter that the limbic brain is. Therefore, the limbic brain just takes over. The reality is, however, that not every situation that we find ourselves in is a threat to our survival. But the limbic brain still sends signals of danger under certain circumstances and in certain situations, allowing us then to respond in a certain way. Why? Because we formed patterned responses under certain situations and certain circumstances. For example, if we were a 2-year-old that wanted a cookie or a sweet, we then maybe threw a tantrum, we shouted, we screamed in order to get that cookie. And if that served our needs at that point in time, and that behavior has never been addressed as we grew up into adulthood, that is the similar response then that we will resort to in order to get what we want. Or it could be a situation where we perhaps feel we need to get defensive, and that is the behavior that we resort to That's the same behavior that we're going to resort to when we are adults. Hence, we see it in perhaps meetings at work where people have anger outbursts. We see it with people that have anger outbursts with their friends or their family, their spouse.
When anger strikes, you need a practiced technique to keep it in check. The answer lies in the pause. Here's a simple 3-step ritual to help you respond calmly. First, breathe. Close your mouth and take 8 slow, deep breaths in through your nose. Let each breath fill you fully, then gently release the air through your mouth. Secondly, pair your breathing with a physical movement. It could be something simple, like taking off your glasses, sipping your coffee or tea slowly, straightening your tie, or adjusting your watch. Preferably choose a movement you can do whether you're standing or sitting. Thirdly, create a personal maxim to repeat to yourself as you breathe and make your movement. This maxim should resonate with you, something that shifts your perspective on the matter and helps you stay grounded. It's a guiding principle to help you respond calmly. For example, you might say to yourself, "Let a moment of calm create a lifetime of peace." This simple 3-step technique would assist you greatly with your pause before responding to anyone.
If you look at the technique that is being proposed, it's asking you to breathe slowly and deeply. Then couple that breathing with some kind of a movement that you're comfortable with. It's also then saying to you, have some kind of motto or maxim that you can say to yourself within your mind with regards to the particular situation that you find yourself in. Ultimately, what it's trying to do is it's trying to allow the rational brain to catch up to the particular scenario that you find yourself in. Hence the maxim, because you're actually addressing the rational brain in that moment in time. Now, what you're therefore then trying to do is you trying to form a new patterned response to these situations, which means then that you need to remember, this is very, very important, that you cannot only practice this technique when you get angry. You have to practice it on a daily basis. You have to practice it within your meetings, within your engagement with your colleagues, when you have a conversation with your spouse. It's very important to understand that we don't always have to respond very quickly when we perhaps ask the question, or when we're engaging with people. We can actually take time to put thought into our responses. And by doing this technique, the more we do it on a daily basis, we're going to find that it's going to become a lot easier for us then to respond calmly in those high pressure situations where we feel we might want to get angry, or we feel we're going to have an anger outburst. That's ultimately what the technique is doing, and I trust that if you understand that, you will be more inclined and motivated to put it into practice on a daily basis.